Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Wisdom's Daughter, and this is Bad Girls Talk. So, I'll be sure is the latest to be subpoenaed to testify in the Diddy case. So, those of you who were wondering if Kim Porter was going to be talked about, if her story was going to come up because her name had already been mentioned this past week one of the Diddy trial during jury selection, the answer is yes. Okay. Albu Shore has been subpoenaed to testify. He has gone on Fox News New York stating that he's willing to testify and that he will be talking about Kim Porter and more specifically this mysterious illness. Let's take a look at this latest article. So I'll be sure again says, well, not again, but he says that he is the last man breathing who knows the truth about Diddy and has no issue using the last of his oxygen to take him down. The R&B singer appeared on Fox News New York earlier today to promote his forthcoming memoir, where he raised questions about his late ex Kim Porter's death. Here's Kim Porter, the absolute beautiful Kim Porter, just a gorgeous young woman who he said was quite healthy and did not have any health concerns or anything that would cause her to pass away the way that she did. Now, I'll be sure claims that Kim Porter used to warn him to watch his back around Diddy and disputed the coroner's ruling that a healthy 47-year-old woman could suddenly die from pneumonia. Let's see if we can take a look again at the coroner's ruling. So, according to TMZ, and this is what Kim Porter might have looked like in her last days. Wow, she didn't look very well at all. The LA County Coroner's Office released the cause of death as lobar pneumonia, which is an inflammation of the entire lobe of the lungs. Now, I would expect something like that in a very sick person or someone who has had lung issues or some type of lung disease, but not in a healthy young woman. But according to the report, Kim had gotten a massage from her goddaughter the day before she was found dead. She watched movies with family members until going to bed at 11:30 p.m., and the report lists that as the last known time that she was alive. Her goddaughter saw her at 8:30 a.m. the next day, but Kim was still sleeping, so she left for work. The report says housemates checked on Kim again at 11:30 a.m. When they found her responsive, they called 911. There were unopened and partially open bottles of water, Pedialyte, and sports drinks on Kim's nightstand. There were also antibiotics such as a Z-Pack and a bowl of tomato soup and Tylenol. TMZ broke the story that Kim was found dead in her Toluca Lake home in November. Sources close to Kim told us that the model was battling the flu and complained she wasn't feeling well the day before she was pronounced dead at her home. Now, that's a little odd because typically when someone catches pneumonia, they don't die the next day. Typically, by the time they're not feeling good, you may struggle with pneumonia a couple days or a week. If you're not feeling good and it doesn't go away, you'll go to the emergency room. You'll go see your doctor. Some people have contracted what's known as walking pneumonia, where they had it, didn't know that they had it. And ultimately, what happens with pneumonia is you develop fluid inside your lungs. And if the fluid issue is not resolved, it leads to death. You literally drown in your own fluids. 2 days before her death, Kim called her doctor saying she didn't feel well and had no appetite. The report says the nurse made a house call to give her a saline solution drip infused with vitamins. The next day, Kim complained to the doctor that she had a streak of blood in her phlegm. The toxicology report says there were no narcotics or alcohol in her system. And so this is just a screenshot from her funeral. Kim was laid to rest in her home state of Georgia with an elaborate and moving funeral, which Diddy planned. He also delivered a very emotional eulogy during the service, which I will not play because it is likely just Diddy play acting is the best that I can that I can that I can describe. And so that's what they're saying happened to Kim Porter. Now, again, Kim warned, I'll be sure to watch his back around Diddy. I'll be sure did not agree with the coroner's ruling, saying, how does a healthy 47-year-old woman suddenly die from pneumonia? And this is the question they were all asking. Now, I'll be sure also revealed Diddy's prosecutors have subpoenaed him to testify, as I said, at the federal trafficking trial, and he and his attorney are willing to accept the invitation. So based on that, we can assume that I'll be sure will be testifying. Now, take a look at this picture from 2022. This is I'll be sure. And the fact that he came back from this is nothing short of a miracle. I mean, he's hooked up to all types of machines. He talks about this in his book. He claims that Diddy placed a bounty on his head. This is during his interview with Fox News, and orchestrated a massive PR campaign to make him look bad, which led to his 2022 health scare where he fell into a coma with liver failure and underwent a successful transplant, which he told the news station for the first time. He firmly believes that Diddy had something to do with his failed organs. Diddy. You know, this is another person close to Diddy that something mysterious happened to. I don't know. It just seems like if you are close to Diddy or a friend of Diddy and you disagree with Diddy or do something that Diddy doesn't like or do something to make Diddy mad, you end up like this. I'll be sure says he's working on a film project to tell his life story. And in the same breath, again, he said that the public will finally get a chance to see how he really ended up in a coma in 2022. You probably heard about Albie Shore's health scare that year. He suddenly fell ill, another sudden illness, and fell into a coma in late summer of 2022, where he was incapacitated for 3 months before miraculously waking up and working towards a full recovery. So, as here's another picture here. Okay, and this is from the official I'll be sure. Okay, this is from his Instagram if you want to see more. Grand Rising Beloveds, I don't know where to start. And if you're truly ready to, or if you're truly ready to hear from me yet, you've witnessed only a small portion of my journey. My faith has been shaken but never shook, and my humble spirit of discernment has taught me the definition of what sacrifice and silence truly means. Just know that we forgive you, but never to forget, including all those who assisted along the way. All praise due to Allah. And that was coming from his Instagram. Now, however, I'll be sure seems to be suggesting that there is a tie to Diddy, although he doesn't quite say what that might be. Even in a follow-up interview they did with him right afterward. What he did touch on, though, was where things stand with his biological son, Quincy Combs, who with whom he's had an estranged relationship with over the years, dating back to the 90s. So here is his son. His son is so handsome. I'll be sure clarifies that what he's trying to convey when he recently asked Quincy to come home amid all the drama going on in Diddy's life right now was basically explaining that his door is always open and that he loves his son no matter what. And he loved Kim Porter. He loves this. Well, according to I'll be sure, The moment of reckoning for Al comes when he declares, I'm the only one left alive, suggesting everyone who has ever spoken up against Diddy got whacked. Not everyone shares those Diddy fears. However, Quincy, his son that he shares with Porter, is boldly standing with Diddy, aka his pops, until the end. And I can only imagine how Albie Shore feels about that. It can't feel so great that his son, Quincy, has a better relationship with Diddy than he does. And Diddy allegedly and quite plausibly whacked his mom. It's worth noting Kim's kids said back in September, while it has been incredibly difficult to reconcile how she could have been taken from us so soon, the cause of her death has long been established. There was no foul play. Grief is a lifelong process, and we ask everyone to respect our request for peace as we continue to cope with her loss every day. That's what the children said. But that is not what Albie Shore believes. He believes that there absolutely was foul play and that Diddy was responsible. Prosecutors revealed in court this week that there wouldn't be much about Kim or Al during the criminal trial. And that may not be the case because if Albie Shore does, in fact, testify, he's going to have a whole lot to say. He is absolutely going to spill the tea and bust this wide open. So, Diddy and his legal team have an uphill battle. And all we can do at this point is just wait and see how things go. But if you ask me, this is not going to be a simple case. And I don't believe Diddy is going to be able to buy his way out of this one. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.